What's up? What's up? You already know, like clockwork, we are back with your weekly dose of that underground 411. But before we start, everybody, you got to make sure you subscribe, you hit the reminder bells and all that good stuff. And make sure you add us on Facebook at Smoking Word TV because we're going to start going live with it. But,
yeah.
And also, big shout out to Richard Straps for holding us down. Shout out to Casa de Rock. You already know the deal. Shout out to Patreon for making it happen. And shout out to everybody around the world who's been reaching out and letting us know that they like what we're doing and we're only getting started. And with that being said, Busky, what the fuck is going on?
You know the deal where the news brings you the news.
You know, that's what I was about to say. I'm glad you hit him with the slogan, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And, but not... No, definitely. Like we were just talking about it. It's crazy how things happen. When it rains, it pours, literally. Yep. So, but we have a lot of shit coming. And on the real, shout out to everybody who's been tuning in. And this is a worldwide thing. You know, this ain't no just local news. We make it a point that this family is a worldwide family, and I've been feeling the love from all around the world. So keep tuning in and subscribing all over the world, Europe, Asia, all that good shit, jails, prisons. I don't care where you at, mental institutions. Just anywhere. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
And leave some comments. Let us know what you want to see, what you like. This is all new for us too, and we're having fun doing it. Hopefully you guys are having fun watching it. The comments say so. So let us know what's up, let us any guests you want to see, whatever, this, like Hoya says, this is for you guys as much as it is for us. So
exactly. Like when I say this is the news, bringing you the news, this is for the people, by the people. We are the people. If you're expecting to hear Tom Broadcloth or whatever that guy's name was, leave. There's a bunch of meatheads who love the game and been around for a minute and have a perspective that, we just want to spread love to the underground, and that's what we're doing the way we know how to do it. And we are fully billion% independent network. So what you hear is what we want you to hear, and we're basically just springboarding what we hear from the people and give it back to you. To this is how we keep this thing going. But with that being said, there's a lot of shows that are going down, and we need everybody to keep going out and support them. And Busky, you brought this one to my attention. I didn't see this one to you.
Yeah, this is a really cool show brought to you by the band Frozen Soul. Very cool, sort of semi-new band that's popping up in the death metal hardcore world. So they put this on the Wrecking Ball Metal Madness. They'll be playing it alongside Municipal Waste, Creeping Death, Malignant Altar, Sanguisugabog, 200 Stab Woods, a ton of awesome new bands. Again, on that sort of Maggot Stomp, metal crossover, theme thing. So this is happening in Dallas, August 13th. I'm pretty sure tickets are getting low. So anybody that does want to attend, I suggest you grab tickets. August 13th at the Echo Lounge in Dallas.
Something about Texas, again, shout out to Power Trip, you already know. But something about Texas, the thrash and that imagery, it just seems right.
Yeah. No, there's something in the water down there for years, and I've been a huge fan of all these bands that come out of Texas, like you say, the Power Trips and, so many of those bands. So definitely check this out. I know that there's also, I think, a pre-show going on August 12th, the day before, as well, so you can check that out too. A band called Scourge is playing, and some other smaller bands, Ozone.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Scourge. You know what? I actually like. Check out that lettering. What's that? A Cleric. What's that band? Yeah,
Cleric. Terminal Nation. Some awesome other bands.
But I have one. What do you call it? A piece of advice for my boys, Combat. Let's work on that lettering.
Yeah, because
the name is dope with the K, but I can't really read that one right there unless they made a printing error. But shout out to Combat, Ozone, and all these other things. Listen, I'm feeling those type of letterings. I can't front. I might have something in the works, as a little ode to, you metalhead motherfuckers coming up. So keep a lookout for that. But that's going down August 12th. Demolition Dallas. It's at Double Wide. I guess that's the club, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Shout out Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, dope, awesome 2-day. I don't know if you want to call it a festival, but it's a 2-day show. So check that out for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. And fucking Texas is dope. I bet you it's gonna be hot.
No, you think? Well, they in that one flyer they put now available with AC.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, get
now
out
with
of
AC.
here. Oh, now with AC.
Yeah,
God,
so
good.
they're already preparing for some hot.
Listen, Texas gets motherfucking hot. Let me tell you, I get it why they got fucking, they wear freaking those boots and all that good shit, fucking snake skins on the bottom of their feet.
Yeah.
But fucking but that's dope that they those a lot of those bands I'm starting to hear more of again. I guess we're catching the new wave of those death metal core, whatever they calling themselves now.
Yeah.
Like the new batch of those, so it's good to see them because I hear about them, but now I'm seeing them constantly grinding out there. You've seen who's on tour and who's not. That's the people who are going to last, everybody.
For sure, yeah. A lot of familiar names. Frozen Souls, obviously a familiar name. The Sanguisugabog, that's another name that's popping up a lot more.
And hold on, they spell it different though with the X's, right?
Don't they?
I thought they spelled it a little bit different.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know, but that name bugs me out.
It's crazy.
It sounds demonic. I know it has something to do with the devil.
And
whatever
the logo,
it is,
sure,
whatever it is, it has something to do with the devil. Yo, shout out to them for fucking spooking the fuck out of me.
Yeah, but that's just that whole new generation, like we've talked about this of, bands taking it more extreme. And, a lot of these guys are hardcore kids.
Yeah.
That they don't want to play simple hardcore, and they grew up listening to Bolt Thrower and Obituary, and that's their water well that they're fishing out of.
Exactly. And that's actually a lot of roots of this hardcore shit because people don't understand. Like back then, you only had a handful of, if you're a metal guy, extreme metal, you only had a handful of bands like Venom and around. So what else you would listen to is hardcore punk and vice versa.
Yeah.
So a lot of those dudes, they drank from the same watering hole. That's how my brother, as a matter of fact, rest in peace and happy birthday to my brother David. Today's his birthday. Today we celebrate. Yeah. But he's the dude that wrote the game on that. He put me on where he loves everything extreme, New York hardcore kid, but metal. He was, a Venom, all the extreme, Hellhammer, so, and they would go with, all the Sick of It All guys will tell you, they went from a Hellhammer show, and they go see Agnostic Front, the next weekend. So, extreme.
And that's why I love that episode you just did with Chris Contos on the Spoken Word, because he's one of those guys too, that he crossed over from metal, thrash crossover. He was also, a punk dude, and all of that, and it all, and that was all 20, 30 years ago. And this stuff is all still happening now. It's all the same stuff. It's just more extreme because the bands have gotten more extreme over the years,
Yeah, definitely. It's funny, but it's somewhere along the line, people kind of try to act it like they never mix with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came up, even me and my most hardcore meathead, I always knew, it's cousins. It always came up together. There was always, where there was a skin in New York, there was always a denim and leather metalhead with them. Yeah. And all the OG metalheads know what that denim and leather. Those were like specific, motherfuckers that would you'll catch them at a thrash show and at a hardcore show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was definitely that gray area for a number of years there where it wasn't cool for a metal dude to say he liked hardcore or a hardcore dude to say that he liked metal.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that that's been fleshed out over the years, and there's a lot of awesome stuff out there now because of that, and this is testament to that stuff. This Wrecking Ball, show. It's like, you could have Municipal Waste on a show with a bunch of these other death metal bands because it all makes sense, and they all love AF and they all love, Slapshot and all of these, so it's a good thing to see. And, to jump to our next thing, I think Suicidal Tendencies has a lot to do with that.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Some other bad news was, Bob Heathcote, who played in Suicidal Tendencies on this specific album, How Will I Laugh Tomorrow, has passed away.
That's the record. That's one of their records, big record. That sucks losing it. And shout out to Suicidal. People don't understand, besides being OGs, Madball and Suicidal, we have a very, very good relationship with each other. A lot of love for those guys, and they showed us a lot of love and a lot of respect. And, some of the most classiest OG guys, Mike and Dean, all those guys. And you know what I mean? It's just, it sucks that, that's also a West Coast history right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of, You know, I know a lot of people on the West Coast are affected with it because, you know, like the East Coast, everybody knows each other. You know what I mean? And so, but definitely, you know, shout out and mad love to the fucking Suicidal family. And especially this record.
Yeah.
This was a groundbreaking record. You know, this was record like this record got a lot of people into hardcore music.
Yeah, no, it solidified them. You know, I mean, they were a force, obviously, prior to this, but Trip at the Brain, you know, incredible, incredible song. And I think just the production, the playing, everything, this was just a total step up for the band. You know, Rocky George in the mix. It was just a, you know, just a total step up. And
was this Rocky George's first record?
Man, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't want to say
I don't know.
yes and have it be wrong, but I want to say it is.
I'm bad with Suicidal history because, again, Freddie always was a diehard Suicidal guy. I loved Suicidal more later on because I was on my East Coast shit. You know, then later on, I'm like, how wouldn't I fucking rep Suicide? Like, these motherfuckers do what I want to do it. I wouldn't be doing what I did without them. Like, they were also the other band that, you know, were hardcore dudes that people showed mad respect, but it was all right to come out with full stacks, have a fucking, you know, play a big stage, open for Metallica, and nobody bat an eye. Nobody ever you can't pull Mike's card. That's the OG right there.
I know.
That motherfucker could play with whoever the fuck he wants. Ain't nobody saying shit.
Yeah.
You know, he made his lane like a Roger. You know, go with Paul McCartney. You're gonna tell Stigma he's not who he is. None of us are doing this shit if it wasn't for these guys. You know what I mean? So it's
absolutely.
Like, you know, we're lucky to still have our Elvises, our fucking Jimi Hendrix, we have these people still. You know, people don't understand that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't like, oh, just stories. Like, wow, I loved, Nat King Cole and whatever. No, we got fucking Stigma, Roger, Jimmy, Mike. These motherfuckers not only doing, playing shows, they're writing records. They're still in the mix.
Yeah, and they, like you said, they've created a whole lane. You know, like their own record companies, their own merchandise labels. Like production, everything, and that's what this whole thing was about, was doing it yourself and creating something that wasn't there, and Suicidal did that 10 times over at this point, so
but definitely mad love to them. And and again, and shout out, like, again, always, you got to respect the OGs, but the way this thing works is always, we need the new blood in the OGs. That's why we make it a point to stay on top on all the new shit. That, again, I want everybody out there to understand. A lot of people send us stuff, and thank you. Send us, any new music and updates and stuff that you think are interesting. We go through what we like and what we think we want to push. We shout out to everybody sending us stuff, but we also we want to show love to everybody and show, we us personally like a little of everything. So that's what we're trying to do, is give a little of everything. Basically, it's no holds bar. We do whatever the fuck we want on here. But basically, we want to cover everything from our world and make sure it gets the proper shine that it deserves. And who better to promote us than us, meaning you motherfuckers out there and us right here. So again, that's why it's important to follow, subscribe. We are 1,000% independent. You understand? This shit is run by us. Everything is done by us and you guys. So make sure you're the promotion team out there. Yep. So repost, subscribe, and all that good shit. But with that being said, on some new shit, there's a lot of new fucking music out there and a lot of new singles. And my man, fucking Upstate, one of Upstate's finest and newest. There you go. Boom. That new Mind Force is fucking. This what the pre-order is now, but it drops September 16th. All right, there you go. Yeah. Boom. Triple B Records. You already know. Look it. Make sure you go check out the single. Listen, these are one of the bands right there. Everybody out there, if you haven't heard, if you're into that Northeast type of fucking hardcore, but it got that crossover flavor, but it has that swag and just that that Northeast feel, this is the band for you. And this is probably the band that right now, probably one of my favorite bands doing it that way. Probably that they're on the top of the heap of the swag bands that I like right now. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so I'm psyched that they're putting out new music, because I know there are a lot of OG guys and family dudes. So I'm glad they're able to squeeze out music, because I like what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That whole area is popping off right now. The Hudson Valley area, the upstate, between these guys and Age of Apocalypse.
Hard, great band too. I love it.
Yeah. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on up there. And it's the same thing, these guys are just legit. They're older dudes, but they know how to reinvent, hardcore, but they also know how to pull from the influences that keep it traditional and keep them, authentic, the Leeways, the Cro-Mags, all that stuff. So it's awesome, it really is. And the cover art is dope. It's a total package. The live shows are dope. The energy is all there. And it's got flavor, like you said, and this dude loves hip hop, and I think that's a huge thing. Jay's a great dude, and he loves hip hop, and he's not afraid to incorporate that in, their flavor.
And what I love about it ain't like some rap core shit. It's just the flavor, like Madball. Same thing. Yep. We have a big influence, and it's in there, but it's incorporated. It's mixed in the batter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's great about them, old guys like you and young guys like me like them, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, you know how that works. You see?
Yeah, love that balance.
So it's a good balance with all you fucking old motherfuckers, all ripe young motherfuckers like moi.
Yeah.
But
that single is awesome. It's really cool. I know there's a little clip, video clip too, and it's just amazing to see. Like you see these video clips, and you're like, oh, they only take the best shots from the shows, but it's like, no, man, that's the way all their shows are.
Yeah,
they're always that crazy. There's always people going ape shit, and like you said, they're the band right now that are kind of top tier, and they're keeping everybody on their toes. So
definitely listen, West Coast is murking it. Let's keep that shit balanced on the East Coast. Let's start repping and start hitting this Spotify for Mind Force.
Yeah.
Who else we fucking got up? There's more music. We've even got more, and there's more.
And there is more. And we've got some good stuff from even further upstate, Buffalo area. We've got
shout out to Buffalo.
Yeah, dope, really cool, dope band called Violent Way. Skinhead Oi, if you're into the whole Combat 84, Blitz, Last Resort, any of that sort of traditional Oi stuff, you're gonna love this. Buffalo, like I said, Buffalo, New York. Bow to None is the name of the full length that will be. I'm not sure the label actually that's coming out on, but you can check them out on Spotify, check them out on Instagram, and you can find all the info. But
I haven't got to check them out. I'm gonna check them out because I'm a big Oi fan, and I know if you brought them up, they must have been good. And I know if you're from fucking Buffalo up there, you gotta be doing Oi or some crazy hard working man music, because it's cold up there and it's fucking. But but shout out to everybody up there, and they got the history up there, so I know that the roots of traditional hardcore New York hardcore. I don't even want to say New York, but that East Coast where it was Oi, a little metal, a little punk, and all that other shit. Oi was a big part. It was a part of that, and people starting to forget it. It got separated somewhere along the line, but I love that this is coming on, and I know Buffalo kind of in that area, north, they always have the straight edge mixed in with the heavy and the skinhead and the punk, the way it used to be. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like old guy, but like all the what do you call it? All the flavors of the traditional fucking hardcore meal.
Sure. And that's what I was just going to say is you think Buffalo, hardcore, you typically think of Snapcase or Buried Alive, or Despair, Zero Tolerance, something that's not a traditional Oi band, So that's why I think it's cool because, like you said, this is a part of the, the flavoring. So it's cool to have an upstate traditional, punk Oi band. So Violent Way, pretty cool. Definitely check that out too.
Yeah, and then next up, we got who I just had on the Smoking Word podcast. If you guys haven't heard it, go and listen to that with my boy Chris Contos, former Machine Head and one of my favorite drummers in the game. He has another band, the Boneless Ones. They just dropped this, Back to the Grind. Make sure you go fucking support them. The graphics are dope. You already know. And anything Chris does is dope. You know, he's all for it. You know, I'm a big fan of him. You know, just the energy in his playing is ridiculous. And like I told him, he was one of the first guys that, you know, that comes from our world that I knew that was making and doing it with the metal dudes. Like, yo, they went to one of us to do it kind of shit, I felt like. And so that's why I was rooted for Contos. So shout out to Contos and shout out to him for still doing it, you know, putting music.
I listened to that. I actually watched that episode, and it probably one of my favorite ones you've done in a while, actually, because you can tell that dude's just a legit dude that just loves playing music, whether it's punk or metal, whether he's on stage to 10 people, you know, or he's on stage in front of 10,000 people with Machine Head with fire going off in front of him, you know, like he's just a legit dude, you know, and I love just listening to him talk and how humble he was and how it's all just about playing drums. And one of my favorite things was how he mentioned his relationship with a bass player in the band and how he likes to listen to the bass player and he allows the bass player to almost tell him how to play his drums. You know, because you know, there's a different thing that we listen to and that we hear. And yes, we always try to align with the drums and this and that, but there's also a point where it's like, listen, let the bass do this and you follow me, you know. And I loved hearing a drummer say that, you know, and I don't think I've ever heard a drummer, literally,
especially a drummer that ill who does plays like that, that exactly. No, like, you know, he's thinking about the whole song, not just about how ill he's playing. You know, and I love the little, go check it out if you're into putting riffs together. How he broke down what he did for the song Old for the riff, originally was that he basically, that's why I love that track, was because he put it into words. Since my vocabulary isn't that big, I couldn't put into words. But when he put it to words, what he did, I go, that's why that song was that shit, because what you did to it. Besides, the riff was dope.
Right.
But
right. And that's the thing is when he said that, I was like, wow, imagine if that riff did do just a thrash beat.
I know.
That's still a fucking sick riff. But he
still
didn't. He put that flavor in it and he did that boppity bop and it made it a totally different thing. And that's what defined Machine Head to a huge degree, was
for sure
that ability.
Flavor.
To when you expect them to go thrash, they don't. They added a little bit of flavor, you know.
When you thought flavor in metal, there was only Sepultura and then Machine Head. Then now flavor became, later on the Slipknots added a lot more groove. You know, obviously there was groove bands, but these were the bands that were sticking with that remedy. So a shout out to them and shout out to, you know, everybody dropping new music. Make sure you go support them on all their Spotify's or whatever. And I got put on to, I think it was Gina. Shout out to my homegirl Gina. I got somebody had tagged me to this next thing we're about to show, but it's one of the best pieces of what do you call it, of video of cinema,
cinematography,
cinematography ever aired. And but all I can say is let's watch it first. Yo, Gator, hit him with that shit.
Everybody, this next song is old enough to get divorced. A 1, 2, 3, 4. I see through bits of rise and fact still remains. I read between your lines and beat at your own game. Take a drink with me, because soon I will sing.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages.
This next song is available on Wax Cylinder. A 1, 2, 3, 4. From the East Coast to the West Coast. Gotta go. True sounds of a revolution. Spare a penny, ma'am. Gotta go.
What is that, the bathroom?
In our hearts. All right, here we go. Which way is Cucamonga?
Listen, everybody, you're welcome. I'll take it. Not you're welcome. Listen, shout out to the 2 minutes to late night. Basically what we got there, I guess a metal late right here. We got metal late night theme talk show. It's created by you got check them out at how would you say his name, Busky?
I don't even Wiener Herzog.
Wiener Herzog.
Yeah.
And Diet _ Hellboy featuring
Mutoid Man.
Mutoid. You gotta remember, bear with me, everybody. You have a gorilla with a GD over here. So, but Mutoid Man, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Long story short, they have like a talk show. It's bugged out. I had ran into them a while ago, and they had tagged me in this, and this was amazing. Shout out to Stigma. Shout out to them, and shout out to the culture for doing shit like this, because you know, people just think that our people will punch you in the face. Yeah, we will, but we'll also, you know, make you laugh sometimes. And you know,
and who better than
great.
Stigma?
Yeah, this is great, man. But shout out to them. I saw this and I was dying. But they have a whole cool, you know, thing they got going on there and shit. So it's go check them out. Go support them. Support anybody who has a show like that. You know, it's stuff like that that keeps the flavors tasteful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shout out to them. And fucking okay, and Gator, what we got next? And shout out to Omerta. I want to shout out my bro Big Chris, and I want to shout out. We have a little tour. My boy hit me up, and we have a lot of people starting to hit the road. And I wanted to tap you in with somebody else. I want to shout out Len Lashley. He's going out on tour, and he hit us up with a little tour announcement. Gator, hit him with that shit.
Hi, you guys. Lenny Lashley here. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Hoya at the Smoking Word podcast for the opportunity, and much gratitude and respect to him. I'd like to share some exciting news about an upcoming solo tour I have of Europe, starting on August 17th in Copenhagen at Lycan's Crow and ending in Cologne on the 28th of August at the Sonic Ballroom. Also, I have a full-length record coming out on Murder Records. It's called 5 Great Egrets, and I'm really pleased that those guys, I consider them family, so I'm super stoked that it's coming out with them. Check out the site. They have an exclusive single t-shirt available for purchase right now. And lastly, if you could be gracious enough to check out the video that was shot by my friend Paul Sharkey at Mechanical Shark Media for the single. It's called It Got So Dark. And keep your eyes peeled. There'll be another one coming up beginning of August, I think, that was shot by Punch Dance Studios. Really appreciate all the support, and hope to see you guys soon. Remember, honor, loyalty, and respect are not just words. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, shout out to Len Lashley for hitting us up with that update, and some really cool shit. If me and Busky, I was trying to figure out, it's dope when there's something new and you can't really label them, but what would you categorize his stuff for the people that aren't familiar with him?
I guess country, alternative, alternative country, modern alternative country, folk, somewhere in there.
It's some really cool shit, obviously, is with an edge and some real shit, some really cool shit. If you're into that, this is good whiskey music or matcha. Whatever you're into, you could drink your matcha if you want to this shit.
Or a White Claw if you're, over here on this team.
Exactly. White Claw fucking Busky.
The overly pink team.
Yeah, exactly. But definitely shout out to Len Lashley. Shout out to Omerta for bringing that up to play. And what else we got going on?
Yeah, it's good to see Lenny getting out there on tour post Street Dogs. Unfortunately, they came to an end. But you can't slow that guy down, so it's good to see him out there on tour.
For sure. I'm glad there's a lot of people out on tour, and that's the whole thing. We're getting stuff as we go. Like, that's the crazy thing, and we're trying to pump the shit as fast as we can. Yeah. And again, shout out to Omerta for bringing that, and everybody, if you want to support the show, make sure you go to CasaDeRock.com or just listen, the Patreon. You don't even have to do any of that. Just make sure you subscribe, follow, and all that good shit. You understand? Because this is the way this moves. You understand? Like I said, this is the promotion team. It's you guys. Yeah. So, but it's cool that where did you ever? They were just on tour. Did you ever catch Len? I noticed after Chris told me about Len Lashley, a lot of people started pushing his stuff. Yeah. Like it started popping up all over the place. I didn't know I don't know exactly where he was from or what's why. You know anything on Homeboy? Like, I don't know much on him.
Well, I know he was from Street Dogs, so
Get out of here. All right, I didn't know that. That's already you fucking me up. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why I say it's cool to see him out there touring. Same thing with Johnny Rio. A lot of these guys from Street Dogs, after Street Dogs broke up, I think that gave them a little bit of wiggle room to work on these other projects, so I think maybe Lenny got a little bit more shine because he had a little bit more time to put into the solo project as opposed to Street Dogs,
Yeah, so he was in the first wave of the Street Dogs.
Oh man, I think so.
Oh, all right.
I think he's definitely been in the mix for quite a while, and he's a great musician, so it's good. Like I said, it's good to see him branch out into country or whatever you want to consider this acoustic, music and not just loud.
Acoustapunk. We got to come up with a name. Acoustapunk. Like
there we go.
Listen, hashtag Acoustapunk. You understand? You're hearing it first. Yep. I came up with another one the other day. I got one. I'm going to give it to everybody out there. This is the fucking notes.
These all have to be copywritten.
I know. I got copy. But you know what, Busky? I'm all about giving the people the fucking the news. So I'm going to give it to them. This one is on the. All right. So on motherfuckers out there. This one's on the house. The next one's going to cost you. Yeah. But listen, just because you shop at Whole Foods doesn't make it organic. Because a lot of you motherfuckers that believe that are hashtag Foganic. Hashtag Foganic. I'm gonna say it one more time. Foganic. You heard? Yo, listen, Blood Clot, I love you, Toby. I love you, but don't believe the hype. Just because Whole Foods sells it doesn't mean it's organic. A lot of that shit is Foganic. Because the same shit that Key Food sells it to the fucking
Lidl. You can go to Lidl and get the same hummus they have at Whole Foods.
Exactly. Go to Lidl, pay half the price.
Yeah.
Different tag. But
peanuts are peanuts. I don't give a fuck what label,
Shout out to Lidl. Shout out to, you know what I do like? I can't front. I'm a Trader Joe's guy. That's like a California shit. Yeah. But I'm you got everybody. Trader Joe's raw peanut butter, almond butter, best price on the market. Yeah, just so you fucking know.
Trader Joe's for the win.
Sure. Trader Joe's, but shout out. So I've been lately. So what do we got? We got hashtag. What was the one I just came up before? Foganic was
Acoustapunk.
Acoustapunk, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
I want everybody to let that marinate. All right. So all right. So what do we got, Busky? What do we got up next?
We gotta get back on track. We tour. We were talking about tours, and this tour just got announced. It's fucking pretty killer. Cannibal Corpse, Dark Funeral, Immolation, and our brothers in Black Anvil. North American tour starting in November, pretty much a whole month and a month and a week through November into December.
Look at that shit. Yeah, that's a bell, boy.
That's a banger of a tour. Black Anvil is one of those bands that they're a New York City band. They came from the hardcore scene. I don't know if anybody knows this, but they came from the band Kill Your Idols, Paul Delaney, Rafe, Gary, a lot of these guys, they've been around forever. They were influenced by metal. They took that next chapter of, reinventing music, and they turned, this band out called Black Anvil, which is just amazing, and you can hear the hardcore influence. It's not like you hear it, but you can tell that these guys know how to slow things down. They know how to groove. They know how to go from, a fast part to a slow part to a mid pace. And it's amazing. And it's amazing to see them going on tour with bands like Immolation, who I grew up listening to, and Dark Funeral and Cannibal Corpse, because these are legendary bands. You know?
For sure. This is a stacked fucking bell. Yeah. And besides Paul's probably, and for everybody don't know, Paul was a fill-in for me, one of my first fill-ins for me when I had to take a little time off in the past, and my favorite fill-in. And I love the band because we like a lot of the same shit, and he's a player like I am, a flavor player. But I'm also glad that we were able to get, this is how the Hard Corner's doing it. We got the word that this shit was dropping, that Black Anvil was dropping a new single. So what we had to do was let's get the motherfucker on the Hard Corner, and I had to tap in and get my brother Paul on the show. So let's tap in with Paul Gator Food. Let's bring him in. Yeah. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah.
I was
There
just
he is.
gassing you up. People are
I
gonna
was
think you're like the
I was listening.
prince of the underworld.
Yeah,
But I mean, like the Minnesota prince of the underworld, the purple prince.
I'm on the flaming color couch. I'm chilling. I'm in the underworld.
No, but what's up, bro? No, I was just letting everybody know that I was glad that I just saw that we saw that the tour was announced and whatever, and like had to let the people know the way we do it is more than the tour. Black Anvil also got some new shit about to drop, and that's why I had to get you on it to let the people know because the people want to know.
And I appreciate that. So yeah, man, we just announced. I mean, the tour was booked like a year and a half ago, but
damn, I didn't know that long. I remember you told me about it, but I didn't know that long ago. Wow.
Yeah, about maybe not a year and a half, but over a year. We got the offer, and it was like, yeah, of course. And then we just got to sit and wait,
Yeah.
Which I think is for the best because how many tours, was supposed to happen 15 times over and didn't. But yeah, we finally announced it last week, and luckily for us, we drop a new album the second day of the tour, which we will announce next week on August 1st.
Perfect. And you and everybody hearing this right now, you're getting the drop because Patreon gets the drop first. And all you civilian motherfuckers, you'll be hearing this. The record will be dropping this week. So you lucked out on this one. Yeah. But everybody in the Patreon got their pre-orders made already. So, that's how you got to get down with it. But that's how we're trying to do it. I want to let people know I also making it a point that I want the shit. I like my Patreon. I give my Patreon shit, exclusive shit, but I try to line it up with the new drops with people's releases and stuff because I know how important that is. Something as what somebody doesn't even see as an importance as a record release, as far as an ad, an interview or something. Very important to new releases and stuff. So I was glad that this fell into place because I've been wanting to do this, and I'm glad it fell into place where it drops, where your new singles dropping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is technically like the first press that we're doing for it. Like we're gonna do. I guess the the first single is always like sort of it's a push, but it's still like a soft release.
Yes.
Like the second single one, it's like the second single's Water's Been Tested. Here we go. Yeah. And we'll do three drops before the album comes out in November. So,
but you get the first drop right here, motherfucker. But tell us about the single because we're gonna hit people with the single and let them know what's up. But tell us about because it's hard. I was telling you, production is dope. I remember you talked about it last time, but I really liked how the guitars were sitting in that shit, and also how your voice set everything because it's airy, but you could hear everything. Mm-hmm. So it's like a hard thing to do.
It took a minute for us, but more so for me to like let go of the sound that I'm used to hearing from us. You know what I mean? Like we've been in all shapes and forms, like whatever we've done through the years has always had that very distinct, big bass. Guitars are just thick. It's murderous.
Yeah.
And that always works live, but sometimes on a record, you gotta like be a little more dynamic and complement the song. You got to think more for the bigger picture. And
for sure.
Let it go away.
Tones. So, there's more tones on the record, but that's the thing what you did that you kept guitars wide, but everything sits in the middle where you could hear it. Like I said, it sounds live-ish, but it doesn't because I can hear everything by itself, which is a weird combo to be able to do.
Especially with that style of music where it's a little bit more chaotic.
Yeah,
there's a lot of riffage, a lot of notes going all over, a lot of cymbals colliding. You want low end in there, but you don't want to muddy it up. So that's a big thing for me too, low end and mud. And this is something that I discuss with Busky a lot, especially in recent. Is just adding mid range to my tone a little bit, because I need that. I hide without it because I just like the blunt force.
Yeah.
And that works on a record a little bit, but that has worked in the past on past records.
Yeah.
A lot, I'll say.
What did you do differently in terms of your performance or your tone on this record than you did in any previous records? And do you think that this record is where you achieved a tone or sonic, production that you have always wanted?
It's something that I've never expected. So
I wouldn't have even said I wanted this, you know. Like at first, I'm like, what does a guitar have so much mid range? But I just trusted the guy at the helm, mixing and master it. I had to. He's like, this is what I hear. I'm like, you know what? We're paying you for this. So.
And who was that? Anybody you've worked with previously, or?
Yeah, Necromorbid Studio in Sweden. He did the last record too, and he was more than accommodating for me on the last record. So this time I felt like it was, you know, let's let him do his thing. Like
if I did any type of music like you, anybody in Sweden, I'll just land and give them the tapes and say mix it.
Yeah, just at the airport.
Yeah, Norway, the subway lady at Subways mix this shit for me. You know she's gonna kill it. She'd be like, fuck it.
But yo, you two guys are always in mind, man. You know, like when it comes to bass, like you're just opinions and styles that I really appreciate. And
no, but definitely what I want to tell you about your sound though is good that with the mid range, which is good because me and you are accustomed to very low end, and I think that we could add mids because it still is not a lot of mids because we have always been so heavy towards now it's even. Now it's like normal, you know, and we feel like we went out of our box.
Went out of right.
Yeah, and now I just got to play bass a little more, you know. Like now
now they can hear you.
Yeah,
I can't hide as much, but you know, there's also more playing in this record, so it's cooler. And in recent, it was I borrowed a dark glass head, and I had Busky. I sat in the studio with Busky for like a couple of hours just tweaking it and understanding it. He gets such a good tone and a different bite, and when I hear him do it, I'm like, this is great. When I hear myself do it, maybe I'm getting a little self-conscious, you know.
It's all in the hand, you know. Hoyos say too, you know what I mean. It's more about the attack and how the flavor that you're bringing, you know, that too. We talked about that when we're dialing it all in, because when you put the bass on and you played, you have a different, you know, a different strum, a different attack. You hit the string at a different place than I do with a different part of the pick, you know, and that all makes a difference at the end of the day, you know, for sure.
That's what it's like. Lemmy or, you know, or anyone.
For sure.
That right hand like you just said, the right hand determines.
It's the chaotic. It keeps things chaotic for sure. With this single, well, obviously the whole record, there's a concept, but with this being the first single, what you want people to think when they hear this first single, because you haven't done it in a second, so picking a first single is very important, and the picture that you're painting for the rest to come. What is it that you letting motherfuckers know with this first drop?
That we're back, like viciously back, not to sound, you know, generically heavy metal, but listening to the whole album, it's way more aggressive than anything we've done without just being a throwback. You know, we're not going back in time. I still feel like the progression is there, but it's, you know, we started to tend to get a little lighter and a little more mellow and this and that, and now it's just sort of back up to 10. And in listening to everything, I feel this is the one track that captures all of its chaos. It just speaks for the album, you know, from beginning to end, and it's short too. We've usually been introducing, you know, 6-7 minute songs, so it's nice to have something that comes at you in like 4 minutes, and you get a taste of sort of everything we're going to throw out there.
Yeah, no, it's good. It didn't seem long at all. I never even thought about the time thing at all once. But it definitely was the right song, that it had an epicness, it had the meanness, it had the song, you know, because that's the thing that you guys have, I think, on this record more than what I've heard, is I think songs are more put together, like as a song, than just you know.
Thank you. I think about that. I overthink that, not in a way where I want to, you know, destroy what I'm doing, but I really like taking the thought process of writing a song and having the song have a structure, even if it's, you know, simple verse, chorus, you know, like you need these hooks, you need things that are going to captivate people. And I really like the song, like the storytelling and structuring a song, you know, we all do. So I think we've sort of streamlined what we've done in the past, where, you know, we're telling too much at sometimes, you know, like sometimes it's a run on a sentence, you know, and now it's just really focused on the songs and the songwriting.
Good shit. Yeah, go ahead, Boski.
I was gonna say, I heard that in the Miles EP, you know, which you put out between the last full length and this one, I believe, right?
Yep.
And that's what I heard too. Is just more, but I've always heard the songwriting in that. You know, I've always love. That's why I've always loved Black Anvil, because it wasn't just to me a bunch of noisy death metal, black metal, painted up and imagery and whatever. Like there was actual songs in there. And there was even certain songs and a few records ago where I was like, man, I swear this dude ripped off Sunny Day Real Estate, because there's moments where it's like it's real melodic, and it's not like this contrived metal melodic, it's like real melody and real crafted.
And Sunny Day Real Estate and like later, like Load Reload era Metallica are things that constantly inspire me, and not to straight up rip off. Like there's nothing that a lawyer could sit there and sniff out, but for sure, like those bands, they're timeless bands to me that I can listen to. And again, Load and Reload, a lot of people think like but these are the records that got this band to be a household name. And if you could let go of whatever you think is cheesy about those albums, I think the progression from Justice to Black Album to that, for like the dudes that wrote Kill 'Em All to take over the world, there's some songwriting, there's some riffs. I love Hetfield's harmonies, like what he does with his vocals. There's a lot going on there, and it inspires me to be like, I could do something. I could try to do something. Like that.
Sure. Well, you use that as fuel and ammunition, and like I was saying, I hear that, and I think that by this point on this record, it's all coming together really.
I even admitted another little bite to Hoya yesterday. The opening track, when I was demoing it, I was we're building out the drums, and I, instead of putting a stick click or a hi-hat in there, we had like an open hi-hat. And when I got in the room with Rafe, he was just like sort of counting with stepping on the hats and keeping it silent or clicking in between, and I'm like, nah man, I'm like, you gotta hit that. You got to do the Look My Way thing.
Look My Way. I was going to say that. Look My Way. Open it up. Yeah.
And we battled a little back and forth on that, because he was like, it just sounds bigger. It sounds messy and sloppy. And I'm like, I totally hear what you're saying. And, I always he's a genius to me. So I take everything he says, to heart. Even if I disagree, I'm like, well, maybe in a day I'll understand what he's saying. I don't like it. But I'm like, but this is like specific homage, and it's important. And I think it just makes the whole song. But again,
and that's dope, and that's what we do as musicians. And a lot of these musicians out there front, it's not that we're robbing, but we're influenced by the moment of a feeling. And I did this. I'll tell you a real quick story. Homeboy who passed away from what was that band? Fucking Wolverine Blues.
LG.
LG, yo, rest in peace. So he was good friends with Mitz, but I ran into him, and they had the one song, Wolverine Blues, the one opening fucking breakdown that, that and it had like some halftime shit. And I bit that, not literally, but I always went like, oh, I want some shit to drop like that. When I met him, I said, yo, what's up? Oh, I'm a big fan. Oh, I bit you mad times. And he looked at me like, I'm like, because there's no shit, me, I don't give a fuck. And I also, if you don't know what I meant, it's how I throw homage, the same concept. I took the feeling, a vibe, and I said, I want to use that vibe and use it in my batter. Like I was talking, when we making my cake, I want to throw some of that in there, you know?
And that's how it is for me too. I think that's the, when people ask like, what inspires you, or what have you been listening to? It's like, I'm mostly inspired by not listening, like writing music. I'm not inspired by listening to things. Maybe I hear something and I think it's whack. That inspires me to be like, I want to pick up a guitar. But it's always just these little things that like unintentionally you hear and you're like, it's ingrained in my mind. These little things and these little aspects. So something simple as keeping a hi-hat in there that just does this.
Absolutely.
It's like, that's homage to something we grew up with, and something we care about, and something personal to us,
So where you let people know right now. So when this comes out, they hear this, the single's gonna be out. Where could they get it, and where they should be looking and following and clicking?
So August 1st, we're gonna announce the record and announce pre-sale and pre-save links and all this stuff. The new wave of dropping music. That's August 1st.
And this drops the 2nd, as a matter of fact.
And the song drops on the 3rd, so that's perfect. August 3rd, the single comes out, and season of Midnight. I had a brain fart there. I'm like, what am I missing there?
Yeah, that's all right.
Single drops 10 a.m. on August 3rd. on Season of Mist Records, and it's available everywhere. You know.
And what's the name of
vinyl,
the single? The first single. What's so people know to keep an eye out?
Castrum Dolores.
Awesome.
Real quick, tell us what that means.
Church of Pain. The Castrum Dolores was like a structure that was built.
Look at. I'm not saying.
like-
I'm not opening Pandora's box.
Satanas.
Listen, keep that motherfucker in there. But
You know,
no,
like
no,
if
but it
a
was-
pope passed away, they would build this like wooden wild structure that would house the coffin or whatever.
got
And
you.
so it translates in Latin to Castle of Pain, but it wasn't some morbid.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, got you. It was like some. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
basically
like a
like a
beautiful
coffin.
structure.
Coffin.
Yeah,
Old school coffin.
Yeah, and the name stuck out, and the imagery
That's
itself
dope.
is great. It pertains, in a way, it loosely pertains to the title and the theme of the whole record. The record's called Regenesis.
Yeah,
Uh,
dope.
And again, it's just renewal is the theme, you know, and shedding the skin, you know. It's sort of I'd say the last two albums in this have sort of been concepts without even really intentionally building the concept. But, you know, like Hail Death isn't as grim as it sounds. It's just a very realistic ultimate reality that we have to endure, and in many ways. And As Was to us was like, you know, after that. And now we're dealing with this sort of rebirth renewal idea. And I don't know, it's just concepts and, you know,
Good shit.
philosophy,
Listen.
nihilism.
Right.
Hell yeah. Bottom line is Black Anvil's motherfucking back. Make sure you go check out the single. Paul, I'm glad you were able to tap in quick. And when you drop the next single, we want you to come back in, and then maybe you jump on and then we break down the track. And you guys,
Absolutely.
maybe we get Rafin on in on it too, and we could talk some shit on the track and break it down even more.
Yeah, that's September 1st, so I'm totally down to do it. Yeah, I
And-
love you guys, and I'm glad you had me.
You know what's up? I love you too. Yeah, everybody, make sure you go check them out. Yo, I'll hit you up later, Paul. Go check out Black Anvil. Make sure you hit them on the Spotify and all that good shit, and get the single.
Much love, Paul.
Yo, peace out, Paul. Everybody, you see how we're doing shit out here? The fucking hard corner. We're trying to get the 4-1. If you're in the trenches, we're there with you. You know what I mean? So, but with that being said, since we're on that Black Anvil shit and we're talking music and we're talking new this,
Yes.
let's do the new drop of the week. Let's keep it on that Black Anvil shit, Gator. Boom. Like I said, we're staying on that Black Anvil shit. First of all, I forgot. I should have talked to him about the cover. The cover is fucking crazy. It's fucking.
Now that I see it, you know, I wish we did give him a second to talk about it. They always have amazing artwork, dude. I know that he works with a specific designer that he uses on a lot of the Black Anvil stuff. So that's another great thing about the band is, you know, we've always talked about the visual aesthetics and a lot of this stuff, and they definitely bring that to the table as well as, you know, amazing music too.
Yeah, and the track, like I said, man, when I heard the track, I was glad. Like, you see, I know Paul's his concepts and his songwriting style, and we're very similar in a lot of ways. So I know he was gonna come with it. And like I said, the track had very smart to come out with it, or the perfect song that paints the picture. It has like a big, you know, it has the epic parts, it has the, you know, the meaty parts, it has everything, you know, it has, you know, it takes you through the motions, you know what I mean? And it's fucking, the production I really liked, because it was real interesting to me, where I'm glad Paul broke it down, where he basically, you know, was talking about adding more tones to it, which made sense, because it's a very big record, but you could distinguish everything clearly, which is hard to do with that style.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I loved it. And I agree with everything you say. It's hard to say anything other than what you just said and agree with you, because it's all totally true. One other thing I can add is that, you know, Paul and I are pretty good friends, and he sends me a lot of just these demo tracks throughout the years, you know. So I hear a lot of these records being built literally from his bedroom with just this idea where he'll send me this drum track with this guitar, and I'm like, dude, that's amazing already, you know. So half of this record, I think I've already heard demo versions, and I think he might have even sent me the finished record, but I didn't want to listen to it yet because I want to hear it the way that everybody else hears it when it comes out finished with all the samples, all the proper production, all this and that, you know. So I'm really looking forward to this release. They've always fucking been a standout band for me, you know, and it's cool to just, again, see our friends go in different places and keep pushing the boundaries of music and what people expect from us, being just a bunch of, you know, dumb hardcore guys from New York City or wherever, you know.
Yeah, definitely check out the single. You know, the Hard Corner gets that exclusive drop, as you know. The shit is dropping tomorrow, and we're gonna hit you with the single right now. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you bump that shit. Make sure you go support them. And also, you have to make sure you follow us on Apple Music, Spotify, Smoking Word TV on YouTube. Follow us at Smoking Word on YouTube, at Smoking Word TV on Facebook, because we're about to take the Hard Corner and start live streaming this shit. So we're gonna have a lot of guests coming in, tapping in from the studios, from the road. We only getting started with this shit, but you have to follow and also hit the alert buttons. You gotta comment. You gotta get involved with this shit. Like I was talking with Busky, we don't need donations. We need people investing in this, meaning your time. We need our energy. We need our heart. We need everything to make this shit happen. As you know, we love what we're doing. We're only getting started with this shit. We have a lot of shit tapped in. We got more shit coming next week. Every week we have something new for you. The place where the news brings you the news, you know?
It's like the hardcore show where the front man's always yelling, move up front, because that's what this is. You know, it's participation, it's crowd participation. So this show exists because you exist. The more you know, give to us, the more we can give back too. So
absolutely. So keep hitting us. You got new music or whatever. We're going to eventually have one place you could send all your music to. Again, add us. Smoking Word TV on Facebook. You can send your new music or any questions you have to us there. We're going to start live streaming. You're going to be able to tell us live. But this is the spot where we're bringing you everything underground, the way we see it. You understand? Not because the way people tell us the way we should be telling it, but the way we see it and the way we want to be heard. And that's guerrilla style, but with all heart. Busky, you know what's up. Good to see you another week.
Always.
So next, you know the deal. To next week, everybody keep tuning in. The Hard Corner's in the motherfucking building. Gator Food. We out of here.